Hello and welcome back to Inside the Man Cave as we take a look at another Starlog magazine of my collection. This one is number 34, issue 34 from May 1980, so we're now actually into the 1980s. So what can we expect in this issue? There's a little special about Battlestar Galactica. We have an interview with the Empire Strikes Back director, Buck Rogers Robot. There's a Doctor Who interview with Tom Baker, and then we've got the Martian Chronicles and something more about Galactica, Battlestar Galactica. So that is Starlog number 34. Let's take a look inside. So first, of course, we've got another ad, and there's quite a lot of different ads, but they're not really boring ads. They're more about the sci-fi world and everything, and you can always write in to get these cool little things like more Starlog or future magazines. And in here is a little bit detailed about what's in the Starlog magazine. That's a shot I can remember from Battlestar Galactica. But yeah, this is the different departments. We've got log entries and the fan scene. And we'll have a special Empire Strikes Back feature as well, because the Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, so this would have either been just before or just after the release of Empire Strikes Back. We have the annual from the Bridge, pretty much the publisher talking about their involvement with Starlog, and then you've also got all the list of credits of the good people who worked on this Starlog magazine. And then over the page we've just got another ad to a book, I think. And we have communications once again, where people can sort of write in to the publishers and have their say in the sci-fi world. So it's always interesting to see some different articles that people have commented on or want to know a little bit more. And communications continues over the page. We've got some people talking about where the TARDIS is, so that's a bit of a Doctor Who questionnaire, and another ad. Then over the page here we have log entries, all the latest news from the science fiction world in the early 1980s. So yeah, and they have different little articles about what's news and what's coming up in the world of that. And log entries are continuing. And we also have a little article here about, I think, Mad Max, the one filmed right here in Australia. Then over the page is a very cool thing, is a ad for, I think, like Halloween sort of style masks. So there's some Star Wars ones there, and there's some vampires and maybe Bigfoot, but yeah, very interesting there. Next we have the many of Starlog interviews they have in these magazines. This one is with Robin Douglas, the new faces of Galactica 1980. So Galactica 1980 was the sequel series to Battlestar Galactica that was filmed in the late 1970s, and there's a big photo slot of her there. And this is just continuing on Battlestar or Galactica 1980, about some of the information about the series. I know he was very much a regular in Battlestar Galactica, so that's a little bit more information. And it continues over the page, but we have this little insert here that I didn't know. It's a secret little insert that they put in of Star Wars. So you've got but it's almost like a comedy sort of photo where Mark Hamill's there and you're a stormtrooper over there almost laughing in a way. Yeah, it's sort of a funny photo with C-3PO, Chewie, Vader and R2-D2. Then it continues over. We have another interview looking at some of the new faces of this new Battlestar Galactica series with Robbie Rist. More information about that. There's a big oversized photo of one of the child actors from the original Battlestar Galactica series. and it tells sort of like what's to come for this sequel series. If you've never seen Battlestar Galactica, it has very similar constructs to Star Wars. These are called the Cylons, which they sort of are like stormtroopers in the Battlestar Galactica world, but it's a very interesting series. Definitely highly recommend the series if you've ever seen it, if you've never seen it before. Next we have the interview with Ivan Kershner, the director of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. You've got a pretty massive spread with some storm or snow troopers in a way coming through Hoth. There's a little bit info the starting of the actual interview, so hopefully if you guys want to pause it and read it, welcome to. I'll try and get most of this interview on camera if I can. But that is the first page. So there is the director hard at work. That looks like he's on Hoth as well. And then the interview continues. So it's a little bit about the making of Empire Strikes Back. Now I'm not sure if it already came out by then, but it might have not happened. Significant differences, so maybe a bit of production problems in a way. So yeah, very interesting to know. And then you've got a massive, really cool spread of Darth Vader and Boba Fett on Bespin. And the interview is continuing, which is a nice picture of the director over there. And I will keep trying to get the best shot I can. If you ever actually want to try and read the interview, you might have to pause and zoom if you can, but it's a little bit difficult trying to do this on camera. Then over the page we have just a fan scene about some of the artwork and fantasy artwork in the network in sci-fi. Here we have a section on Australian science fiction men, which is really cool. This is very much American magazine, so they're having some input with Australia, so that's really cool. Maybe their journey in making some of these crazy films from their production ways, maybe filmed back down here in Australia, in Sydney or so forth. Next we have The Martian Chronicles, so an NBC mini TV, a made-for-TV film. I've never seen this one before, but they're giving a lot of spread on this one, I reckon. But it's cool. It's got a nice giant spread on that one, and then just some more behind-the-scenes photos of this film. Who knows if it was ever interesting? I might try and look up the trailer later and see what it was like. But we have The Martian Chronicles. The next Starlog interview is with Doctor Who. A visit with the Doctor, Tom Baker. So any Doctor Who fans, this is your section. We've got a massive, good coloured spread of the Doctor. Now I think Doctor Who is celebrating 60 years on TV. I think it's one of the, like, maybe one of the longest running sci-fi series ever. So that is pretty cool. So this is the Doctor of the 80s with Tom Baker here, and that's just a little beginning of his interview. And the interview continues. I've never seen that much Doctor Who, but what I've seen isn't too bad, but I wouldn't call myself a massive Doctor Who fan. And we continue with Doctor Who with America Loves the Doctor, a report from the first Doctor Who convention. So they must have had a Doctor Who convention down in America, and they had the Doctor here, Tom Baker, because it looks like he is there with a few fans and meeting some and signing some of their autographs and everything, and he's probably talking about that experience. We have the Starlog trading post, so some back issues and t-shirts with Starlog. They've even got a section here where Starlog is now available in Japan, so that is pretty cool. And it just continues over the page with some like Starlog yearbooks and and Space 99 Eagle prints, and there's a Rocky 2 one as well. So that's a cool retro Starlog trading poster guide. And some more on the Starlog trading posts. There's a form that you could sign up or give an amount to. There's some Battlestar Galactica books, so that's cool. And then over the page we have another Starlog interview with Felix Silla, Buck Rogers' bibbidi buddy. So I think there's a little companion for Buck Rogers, and they go delve into his character. Special science fiction exclusive, Alien invades Burbank, thousands terrified. It looks like they put on a special Halloween event with someone dressed up as the alien, and it continues about the event and how it was all put on. And then there's some cool behind the scenes photos of the guy dressed up as the alien, which looks pretty accurate to the film. And then there's also a little baby with Alien. I wonder if that kid is now all grown up and if they've still got the photo. That's pretty cool. And it looks like it was actually almost not just someone guy in a costume. There was a full event, and they had its own sort of display on of the spaceship, and it was definitely a pretty big deal to have in the Starlog magazine. And finally, it's the last word from the editor, Howard Zimmer, and then we have a preview of the next Starlog next month, which unfortunately I don't have, but it's the Empire Strikes Back edition. The long-awaited Star Wars sequel premieres this May. In the next issue of Starlog, we'll continue our exclusive coverage of the Empire Strikes Back in-depth interviews and full color photos. So unfortunately I don't have that issue, but yeah, it is what it is. There's not many of them available. I've bought some on eBay here and there, but they're not regularly available because they are quite old, and that will go on sale Tuesday, May the 6th, 1980. Not that long, or not long, just literally right before Empire Strikes Back. And then over here is some more ads for books and photo books and everything like that. There's a Star Wars sort of villains guide over there, and then we finish with a Star Trek Judy jacket that you can apply for if you like. But that is it for Starlog number 34, a very special insight with Battlestar Galactica's sequel, Galactica 1980, and even we still got an Empire Strikes Back interview with the director. That is pretty cool. That is it for our Starlog magazine. Thank you for joining us, and I will see you in another episode of Inside the Man Cave.